expression in an extraordinary vessel. Makes you fall and feel the essence a little more until your threshold, yeah. Welcome to episode 34. 34. I don't know what 34 is in the Quran. I actually don't. Like, wait, what shall I guess? No, it's not good to guess if you don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing's coming. Should we see what it is? The Saba. The Saba. The title of this chapter is taken from that of a city of the same name, i.e. Saba, which was situated in Yaman. Yaman? I think it's Yemen. Maybe it's Yaman. Yaman. And was destroyed by a flood. The warning given in this chapter applies to all nations that are made great and prosperous but fall into luxurious habits. Dun dun dun. Ease engenders evil, which brings decay and ruin. That's so true, you know. That's why, like, as much as you might moan sometimes and get a bit grouchy because things are difficult, it's actually quite a good thing in a way. Because at least you're, like, closer to solving the problem, or at least being, like, amidst the problem. Whereas if you're in all that luxury and all that splendor, it's like, huh, that's so beneath me. And all that jazz, and all that arrogant jazz. So, we're not going to forget prayer today. So, in the name of Allah, the entirely beneficent, the entirely merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. Sovereign of the day of recompense, it is you, Allah, whom we serve, and it is you, Allah, whom we ask for help. Guide us, Allah, to the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed favour, not of those who have evoked your anger, nor those who go astray. I want to thank the entire nation of Islam for being, as it is, our teaching source during such a dark hour, and I would like to thank my mother, who raised me and made sacrifices that I am learning of and yet will never comprehend the depth of. Praises be to Allah. You know, thought, thinking, knowing. See, when you know, you don't really need to think. But I think it involves a tremendous amount of thinking to get to a place of knowing. Or it involves a tremendous amount of thought to get to a place of knowing. And I find that where we are in our thoughts is, in some sense, inadequate in order to deal with the condition. And I find that a lot, that, you know, the condition has such a bank by which it can come at you. And ours, as a collective, is not strong enough. Our thoughts, as a collective, is not strong enough to really be able to push back. You know, there's a little story that I'm writing. It's a 25-book series, it is. And in the story, there is what's known as dark eternity. And if you could picture the universe as obviously a sphere, outside of the sphere is dark eternity, and inside the sphere is life force essence. And life force essence is pushing dark eternity from enclosing the light. So in the story, it turns out that the very seed that's producing this life force energy is starting to weaken, and the dark eternity starts to, you know, sort of surround and enclose and get closer to the center point because of the weakness of the light. And if I could bring this into what I just said, our thoughts have to be strong enough in order to fight off that dark eternity. Dark eternity can represent ignorance, can represent arrogance, can represent falsehood, can represent that which is not of the light, shall we say. So we have to be able to think beyond the condition in order to deal with the condition. And what was I going to say? I was going to relate to something then. Yes, that's what I was going to say. Praise be to Allah. The narrow path. You think because the path being narrow means that it's weak. But that's not true. Because one light, one tiny light, in a big room of darkness can actually light up and at least make everything in somewhat vaguely visible to the room after it turns on. So, we have to love the narrow path in the realm of thoughts enough to create them, to be them, to embody them, to learn of them. When Jesus said, "Learn of me, for my ways are," what does he say? For my ways are lowly, or something like that. There's a power in giving it all up to God. There's a real power you gain from that. And I just wanted to bring that to our minds, that perhaps maybe we need to do more study. Perhaps we might have thought that we've made it, and as a result of having so-called made it, we may have lost the way. Because when you think you've made it, you've really just lost it. That's why we was talking about last episode, the child. The child knows that he doesn't know. Makes him a perfect vessel for knowing, or for knowledge to come in, or to be introduced. But you know how colourful and how unique each individual human being is? We have to wrestle with the processes that something that we may deem so small can do, if that makes sense. So we'll read a bit of the Quran, and then I think we could do a little bit of some of the writings if you want, some more writings, mate. So section 1 of Saba is judgment is certain. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Praise be to Allah. Exclamation mark. Praise be to Allah. Whose is whatsoever is in the heavens and whatsoever is in the earth. And to him be praise in the hereafter. Exclamation mark. And he is the wise, the aware. He knows that which goes down into the earth and that which comes out of it, and that which comes down from heaven and that which goes up to it. And he is the merciful, the forgiving, Praise be to Allah. And those who disbelieve say, the hour will never come to us. Say, yeah, by my Lord, the knower of the unseen! Exclamation mark. It will certainly come to you. Not an atom's weight escapes him in the heavens or in the earth. Nor is there less than that, nor greater, but all is in a clear book. In a clear book. You know, the Honourable Elijah Muhammad said that you could find anything you ever wanted to know, you could find it in a book. That he may reward those who believe and do good. For them is forgiveness and an honourable sustenance. And those who strive hard in opposing our messages, for them is a painful chastisement of an evil kind. And those who have been given knowledge see that what is revealed to thee from thy Lord is the truth, and guides into the path of the mighty, the praised. And those who disbelieve say, shall we show to you a man who informs you that, when you are scattered, the utmost scattering, you will then be in a new creation? He has forged a lie against Allah, or is there madness in him? Nay, those who believe not in the hereafter are in torment and in far error. See they not what is before them and what is behind them of the heavens and the earth? If we please, we can make them low in the land, or bring down upon them a portion of heaven. Surely there is a sign in this for every servant turning to Allah. David. I love David. Because the next bit's about David. And I always have a sneak peek sometimes, just have a little wander. But I like that. One sec. When was it? Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Those who strive hard in opposing our messages. So it doesn't even say those who are striving in opposing our messages. They say they're striving hard. See that? So some people, you know, they can't. Really, it's a disease of the heart why they can't accept messages from certain folks. It's a disease of the heart, yo. That inner Satan is something else, you know. Bass backwards, like proper, can really mess people up, you know. Because that will have you, you know, striving hard. That will have you striving hard in opposing messages from God. That force. So we seek refuge in Allah from the accursed devil, from the accursed Satan. Yeah. And we say that in the quiet of our room. Nobody else in there but you, making that prayer. So my question is, you're asking protection in a room where it's just you from the accursed Satan. Could it be that Satan is also very present? And if so, how is Satan present? Present in you. See? God is present in you as well. But Satan is also present. See? Those who have been given knowledge see that what is revealed to thee from thy Lord is the truth, and guides into the path of the mighty, the praised. See, to be a master of the earth or in the earth, you fall into the ways of ease and luxury, and you don't see the consequences of that. You don't see what you're about to suffer from doing that. You know, the amount of times the minister rejected the wealth of the world. Because, you know, let me try to find this. This just came. There's a letter that I'm writing. And in the letter, it says the following. It says, if Allah were to amplify provision in the earth for his servants, they would rebel in the earth, but he sends down by measures as he pleases. Sure, he is aware, seer of his servants. So look at that. If Allah was to amplify provision, if he was to magnify, if he was to amplify, if he was to give extensions of the provision that he has given, then it says for his servants, then they would rebel in the earth. See that? You see how when you're given something, it can act against you. See, look, that's not Satan. That means Satan got hold of it. So the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan is somebody who has had provision amplified, but has remained in a state of peace. Because even though things have come, of which a lot of it has been rejected, he's still had his provisions amplified, but has still remained in the right space of mind. You see that? You'd be surprised how many people, like, from such a small thing, which is deemed to be such a big thing, will think they got it made. You know, they might get a follow from someone. Oh my God. You know, they may get a like, they may get a message, they may get, you know, a label or a title. They may get a large sum of wealth. They may get a woman. They may get whatever it be. You see how it just turns them inside out? Just because they was given a bit of provision. Just because a little bit of that provision has been amplified. You see it grip them. And you know, it's because we forget Allah in the times where we're given. See, when I'm given like a thought, I'm very, very knowing of Allah. I'm very praising of Allah. Because I like to think that when a thought comes, it came by Allah's grace. Not because I'm somebody. Not because I deserve it. Not because I'm such and such. I, me. No. It's that, well, perhaps Allah might know the way that I carry myself when it comes to his, like, blessings, when it comes to those provisions. Like, I could go to somewhere on a train that's not that far, and I'll not feel like I'm anywhere near home, but I feel like I'm miles from home. And in that being just around the corner from home, really, I'll feel so far from home. Because such a small thing is such a big thing to me. Just me personally. Like somebody appreciates me. Somebody appreciates the love I give, or the words that I have, or the character I have. That means so much to me. Because it allows me to say in that moment, well, you know, brother, I got it from such and such. Well, that's the thing, brother. Allah's made it so that such and such. Well, Allah said to us in the Quran, such and such. Well, in the Bible, brother, what it says is such and such. Praise be to Allah. Your gift will make room for you. See? And what room are we talking about? Your gift will make room for you in their mind. Y'all catch that? See, we think our gift will make room for us means our gift will make wealth for us. Will make us famous, will make us esteemed in the land. No. Your gift can make room in somebody's house, their spiritual house, so that you can go live in there. People say that saying, don't they? Oh, I live rent free in your head. All that stuff, like trying to get in your head and that. But imagine something beautiful living rent free. Unless you want to charge people rent for being in your head. Imagine charging God. Imagine charging God for living in your head. You'd be there all day, brother. Trying to get rid of God. So, well, anyway, these are just the thoughts I'm thinking right now. I've been sitting here wondering, when the time's up, when they come for me, we spread out under the sun, does nobody want to know just what it be? Hollow in head, never hollow in my heart. If you look underneath, I gotta impress. I make you follow these bars, some are gonna run from me. Man, I don't blame them, but I hate it. See, the world's changing, but you got the key. My doors are here open, left it wide. I purposely lost my key, The purge within it robbed my lead. Word so strong like a prodigy. Listen, you see. Listen to me now. I got an urgency to clock the week. I serve the beat with lots of speech. I yearn to free the cots of meek. Hurting a believer, watch and see. Learn that evil walks aside of me. Talking vile, I decide to speak. But the words that came from me were contrary to the words that were said to cheeks. Super crystallized my soul and I stopped and breathed. See? I'm saying that your inner demon, your inner devil is going to be whispering stuff. But the words that came from me were contrary to the words that were said to cheeks. See how I paint the picture? Satan whispers, and he's thinking, right, what are you going to say now? The inner you, I'm talking the inner you. The inner Satan whispers to you. But if you can flip that, if you can flip those moments, if you can, in your response, lean on Allah, God, lean on that He is the one who deserves the praise, then you can be like Joseph, you know, bro. You know how many times Joseph laughed at his demons? You know how many times Joseph was laughing? Because he was laughing because they were never going to be able to take his gratitude away. They were never going to take his love for God away. Even despite going through all those. See, Joseph is a marvelous man to me, like in the scripture. I love Joseph. It says in the Quran. You know what? I just love Joseph. Do you know what it says in the Quran? Let's read a bit of Joseph. Should we read the first thing that it says about Joseph? Let me just give you this. This is a great book, by the way. The Holy Quran. This is a magnificent book. But let's just see what Allah said in the first and second verses of that great chapter. Let's listen to this. Are you ready? No, it's the third verse. It says, I, Allah, am the seer. Full stop. These are the verses of the book that makes manifest. Surely we have revealed it, an Arabic Quran, that you may understand. This part, you ready? We narrate to thee the best of narratives, in that we have revealed to thee this Quran, though before this thou wast of those unaware. Like, God is telling you, yo, Joseph, he's about to talk to you about Joseph. But he's not just talking to you about just the narrative. He said, this is the best of narratives. Why is it the best of narratives? I wonder. Because Joseph is the perfect example for how to deal with adversity or adversaries. Because I tell you something, right? If you can find the grace that allows you to handle envy, you are on your way to the kingdom of heaven. You are on your that. See, this is what I mean. It's the best of narratives because he handled the worst of the worst. That part. It's the best of narratives because in it is the worst of things that could happen to a person, in a way. Or it's of the worst things to be subjected to, that a person could be subjected to. It's of the worst things that a man could go through is to be envied by his own brothers. Do you know what I'm saying? Y'all hearing me? Y'all ready for this? So, we think on these things. I was saying the other day, some sister, oh my God, I had to, there's so many people on like YouTube nowadays that are posting videos about like, they'll say chosen ones, they start talking to the chosen ones. But some of the lessons that these people have, some of the testimonies that they have for some of these young chosen ones that they're speaking out to, phenomenal. So let me try to find this, because let me see now. Where is it? Yeah. And it's not in, I've actually not put it in order yet, but I've put it here as well. I'll say this as well. This is interesting because I guess it can go with that third verse in Joseph, but it says, English is the international language for air traffic control. Did you hear that? Universally, in the world, English is the international language for air traffic control. And I put that's a sign that. Is he? You dig? Yeah, look, check it. Even the haters of Jesus envied. Even they, the haters of Jesus, the envious, said, well, aren't you the Son of God? Why don't you take yourself down from the cross then? Which means, why don't you show us that power you say you are connected to? They were mocking Jesus, like they were tormenting him. They were saying, well, go on then, Jesus, end your suffering if you really are from God or of God. See? And then look, that same anchor that they couldn't unlock and unhook will be the same anchor that they cry over. The fact that it no more keeps your ship stood still. So, let them laugh at you, yo. Let them doubt you, though. Don't bite back. See, I'm a fighter, me. I sometimes just want to rip heads off, me. Allah knows. Allah knows I'm like that. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm just this brother. Like, I don't take disrespect whatsoever in the world. I don't care how big and buff people are. I'm just like, what are you talking about, bruv? I was at the shop then, and I only had 95p because I knew milk was 95p. So I took 95p out, but it weren't taking the 20p. I said, brother, I said behind the counter, I said, brother, I said, can I swap a 20p from back there for this one? Because it just doesn't want to have this. He gets the 20, listen to this, brother, sister. He gets the 20p out of this bucket and he tries to throw it from the counter into the machine. It didn't go in. It bounced on the floor, started rolling away. I looked at him and I said, brother, do you do that with everyone you ask that asks you for help? He said, no. I looked at him funny again. I said, I just went, well then. I was like, all right then. But I bet you £1,000,000 he'll never do that to me again. He'll never do that again. He'll probably debate doing it to somebody else. You're gonna throw 20p in the machine when I've got my hand out? Are you crazy? Are you crazy, bro? You won't do that again. You know what I mean? Joseph was a little fighter, man. You know, David. That's why I love David. David was just like, if something didn't add up, David was straight to it, man. I love that about David. He just saw he just knew where the power was at. And he had such a great faith in his Lord. I just love David. I love Joseph. Oh my God. Because I've experienced envy all my life. Oh my God. And it's a terrific force to be faced with. But I've learned to be able to see it. It's like through the hardest of things to bear, it's only upwards from there in terms of what you can then be faced with in some sense, especially in the spiritual. Because envy is literally the opposite of love. It is the total opposite of it. It's like, it's so wicked as a force, and it's so opposite that it actually needs to look like the opposite in which it isn't. You see that? So you'll find envy loving on you. Or so you think. You'll find envy saying, oh, thank you. You'll find envy saying, let me get that for you. You'll find envy saying, great job. But really, envy wants to... Envy can go to hell for all I care. Envy can go to hell for all I care. So... Solomon. Solomon. You know, one of the... in that book that I was talking about, the 25 book series, there's 3 brothers. You've got Kahai, Elijah, and Solomon. Oh, one day, if I write this story, probably... I always imagine me writing it on the wheel. I don't know why, but... Because I always think, like, it's not really for this world, in a way. It doesn't feel like it's for this world. This world is not in a fit state, I reckon, to really see the beauty in this. I mean, maybe it is. We're on our way to it. Because it is based around the suffering of black people. And as you can see, the reparations for slavery and stuff, and just the conversation itself around slavery it seems to be creeping back up to the surface. The president of Guyana had an interview recently with an English-British reporter. And it was so fascinating to see how this white man still doesn't see that slavery is still relative. You know, apartheid ended in like 1995 or something. That's only 20, 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You don't think, like, just because the wound has stopped bleeding, don't mean to say there's not a wound still there, bro. Like, the knife's still in the back. It's just stopped bleeding. But you'll find, in this world, the more people try to get that knife out the back, oh my God, is that a difficult subject? This is what makes black people most trifling, actually, as well. Because like any person who wants to just get on with it, wants to just deal with what they've got going on, they kind of want to bypass that as though, well, I'm over that now. I don't need to look at that again. Brother, I'm looking at such brother like with 20 knives in his back, and I'm saying, maybe those knives in your back that are connected to that, maybe you need to explore what happened in slavery to understand why you're in so much pain, brother. You know, for every 5 years of study on the slave trade, and with that equally, with every 5 years of also remedying thyself with the minister's work that comes as a result of that terrible time for black people, you will find that those knives will drop out of the back with no pain. Maybe a bit of pain on some of them, because it's a hard thing to look at, yo. It's like genuinely, oh my God, man. and they still look at black folks. They just look how they just get on with it still. And I'm looking at them like, you are like no other people on the planet, yo. Like, you still finding the power to love these same people? Are you crazy? I think listen, oh my God, if I ever hear like the talk of slavery, like people making abusive comments and having an abusive kind of toxic kind of conversation about the slave trade, you could fly in me like Superman and ground and pound that this silliness. Can't swear. I'll let them know how important black people are. I say, well, they're the original man. We all come from the original. So the same way you treat, the original man, and he's the father of civilization, then God knows how you'll be treating your own father. You see me? I'll defend them. I'll defend black people, even when they're wrong, yo. I'm just like, yeah, but he has like a leniency towards him in his wrong. Most people that are making fun of, they just got no heart, yo. That's all it is. Hearts on fire. Little Sims, yo. What a tune, Heart on Fire. We should, yeah, maybe, no, we're not going to do music again just yet. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. That was what I was doing. Talking about Joseph. Talking about brother Joseph. Yusuf. We can't steal blessings from somebody. You can't swap out the destiny of somebody. You can delay them. You can create and cause disruption. You can irritate them, cause hiccups. You can try wear them out. You can try make them tired. But then, at a certain time, all gets reversed. All gets released. All the blessings come to such person and falls, and all that hatred and all that, Wickedness falls back on the perpetrators and haters, and falls back on those that didn't love to see you win. You think you're the only one that can send the spirits of death over somebody? The Lord can send death to you just as fast. By the time their candles are lit, God has already blew them out. You see me? I swear down, you know, because it happens a lot, you know. A lot of people genuinely wish bad energy on people. They wish that they would fall, you know what I mean? They wish they broke up, man. They wish it, man. Because they're so lost. They're so... Oh my God. They can't have hope. They can't have hope. They can't, especially they can't have you being the hope. That just makes it worse. I guess they don't mind hope, but then they see you that has the hope and they say, oh, anybody but him. Anybody but him. You can't, I guess you can't love somebody who you've hated, innit? I don't know. I don't know how these people think, man. I don't want to know. I don't want to know either. So, you know what I mean? What was delayed must flow into your life after such things. What was mishandled will be handled. And then come the love bombs, the flattery, the fake love. Because they know, he's one I can't break. He's one that the Lord loves. He's one that the Lord is in the person of. He's one that's not going to fold. He's one that's going to fight. You know, like, you know, if you can read what people are saying in what people are saying, or rather, when you can read what people are not saying in what they're saying that they want to say, you know, you're unbeatable. Because Allah gives you their motive for saying it, for doing it. You know, you send me a picture, send me a video, send me a message. Allah's already telling me your motive for saying it, for doing it, for, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, all right. And depending on the situation sometimes, depends on how I respond. You know, if it's nothing, I'm just like, all right, see ya. Some things can hit a little bit harder than others. You know? You'd be surprised. You'll be surprised what can hit you. You'd be surprised, man. Always keep your emotions intact. Always keep control over your emotions. I say that because I'm really speaking to myself. I have a right way of getting myself all backwards because of my silly emotional outbursts. The motionless saw never killed the snake. It was the out of control emotional reaction in motion that killed the snake. Out of control emotions kill you, but wounds heal. Forgiving others isn't the hardest thing. It's learning to let go of that which has no power anyway to dictate your B moment. Bzzz. Bzzz. You know people hate that sound around the ears, bro. Yeah. Bzzz. Ah, there's a bee near me. Ah. Bzzz. That's a proper sound, that, isn't it? Near the ear. Ooh. Woo-wee. One man's trash is another man's treasure. You know what I mean? So what was I telling you about Joseph? I was saying something about Joseph. Yusuf. Joseph knew the favour, the protection of his own anointing, and he kept his focus on that, not the hatred. He was like, Joseph was a man who understood the energy of things. He understood justice. He understood patience. He understood adversity, being the mother of creativity. He understood the donkey in the ditch, and that they could chuck a stone every day, but after a while, the donkey's just gonna walk out the ditch, because all the stones that they throw just gonna build up in the ditch. He's just gonna walk out. So he understood things on an energetic level. Don't get me wrong, beloved. There was probably days where Joseph was like, what is going on? Like Job. It's like Job. Oh my God, Job. Where's Job? Where's my Bible? Where's my Bible? Where's my Bible? Praise be to Allah. Job. Joby. What we see what it says here. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless and upright, one who feared God and turned away from evil. There were born to him 7 sons and 3 daughters. He possessed 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels. 500. He had so many things. He had so many things going for him, mate. Bless his heart. He had 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and very many on the 14th, and rested on the 15th day, making that day of feasting and gladness. Therefore the Jews of the villages, gladness, feasting, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to just get through to like the best bits. Satan attacks Job's health. Right, here we go. Oh wait, so you got Satan allowed to test Job. Satan takes Job's property and children. Satan attacks Job's health. Yeah. So let's see. It says, so this man was the greatest of all the people in the east. His sons used to go and hold feast in the house, each one on this day, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters. Job would send and consecrate them, and he would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus Job did continually. Oh, little Job. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. And the Lord said to Satan, from where have you come? Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro on the earth and walking up and down on it. And the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, who fears God and turns away from evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for no reason? Have you not put a hedge around him and his house and all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will curse you to your face. Oh, this Satan, bro. Oh my God. I don't know what I'd have said. And look what the Lord said. And the Lord said to Satan, behold, all that he has is in your hand. Only against him do not stretch out your hand. In other words, do anything you can to him. Just don't kill him. In fact, he didn't give Satan the option. He said, you can take all that he has and affect everything he's got, but you're not allowed to take his life. So Satan went out from his presence from the Lord. Now there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And there came a messenger to Job and said, the oxen were ploughing and the donkeys feeding beside them, and the Sabines fell upon them, and struck down the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you. While I was yet speaking, there came another and said, the fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep. I mean, can you imagine getting all this bad news at once? You'd be thinking, alright, okay, something's going on here. It fell from heaven and burned up all the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I alone have escaped to tell you. While he was yet speaking, there came another that said, the Chaldeans formed 3 groups and made a raid on the camels and and took them and struck down the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you. Job probably had absolute psoriasis on his head at this point. While he was yet speaking, there came another and said, your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, and behold, a great wind came across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young people, and they are dead. And I alone have escaped to tell you. Then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head. He shaved his head. He shaved his head and fell on the ground and worshipped. See that attitude? That's like Joseph as well. See, Joseph's a little bit different to Job. There's something, I can't really quite put my finger on the difference of it yet. Maybe it is envy, because, yeah, it probably is. Oh my God, praise be to Allah, probably is. Because I don't think Job necessarily had to deal with brothers that envied him. See, it's different when just some random folks envy you, but when your brothers envy you, your own brothers, oh, that's a pain, brother. That's a pain. Especially when you've never done them no wrong. You know what I mean? You've just been your good self. Like, you can't. It's almost like, oh, I'm not gonna go into it. But that's what I think is the difference. So he worshipped and he said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave me, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Praise be to Allah. And all this Job did not sin or charge God with wrong. Satan attacks Job's health. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said to Satan, from where have you come? Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro on the earth, and from walking up and down on it. See, no, I'm not going to mention that. Maybe I could, but I'll do it in a bit if I can remember, inshallah. And the Lord said to Satan, have you not considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns from evil? He still holds fast his integrity. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. He's still not broken. He's still going. He's still on the move, mate. You can look, but you can't touch. He still holds fast his integrity, although you incited me against him to destroy him without reason. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin. All that a man has he will give for his life. But stretch out your hand and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse you to your face. And the Lord said to Satan, behold, he is in your hand, only spare his life. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord, and struck Job with loathsome sores, and from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. He took a piece of broken pottery with which to scrape himself while he sat in the ashes. Then his wife said to him, do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die. Can you, hey, wait a sec, hold on, let me just rig it, let me re-up on that. Then his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women would speak." Shall we receive good from God, or shall we not receive evil? In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. Now when Job's 3 friends heard all of this evil, oh no, here comes the friends. We in trouble now. That came upon him, they said that they came each from his own place. They made an appointment together to come to show him sympathy and comfort him. And when they saw him from a distance, they did not recognize him. Poor Job. And they raised their voices and wept. And they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads towards heaven. And they sat with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights. See all those sevens, yo. 7 days and 7 nights. And no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that his suffering was very great. That's interesting. Is that people will see your suffering, and that you, they know it to be of the suffering, and so they have this respect to not even talk to you. They have this way of being silent though they sit with you. That's interesting. Because they saw that his suffering was very great. They saw it. They saw it. They saw it, yo. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. And Job said, "Let the day perish on which I was born, and the night that said, a man is conceived. Let that day be darkness. May God above not seek it, nor light shine upon it. Let gloom and deep darkness claim it. Let clouds dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. That night let thick darkness seize it. Let it not rejoice among the days of the year. Let it..." Oh, you know what just came? Job cursed himself instead. Oh. Oh. Job. Oh. Job was... Job was just firing at himself. Let it not rejoice amongst the days of the year. Let it not come to the number of the months. Behold, let that night be barren. Let no joyful cry enter it. Let those curse it who curse the day, who are ready to rouse up Leviathan. Let the stars of its own dawn be dark. Let it hope for light but have none, nor see the eyelids of the morning, because it did not shut the doors of my mother's womb, nor hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die at birth, come out from the womb and expire? Why did the knees receive me? Why the breasts? Or why the breasts that I should nurse? For then I would have lain down and been quiet. I would have slept, then I would have been at rest, with kings and counsellors of the earth, who rebuilt ruins for themselves, or with princes who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or why was I not as a hidden stillborn child, as infants who never see the light? There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary are at rest. There the prisoners are at ease together. They hear not the voice of the taskmaster. The small and the great are there, and the slave is free from his master. Why is light given to him who is in misery, and life to the bitter in soul, who long for death, but it comes not, and dig for it more than for hidden treasures, who rejoice exceedingly and are glad when they find the grave. Why is the light given to a man whose way is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For my sighing comes instead of my bread, and my groaning are poured out like water. For the thing that I fear comes upon me, and what I dread befalls me. I am not at ease, nor am I quiet. I have no rest, but trouble comes. Something to learn here. I don't think we'll go any further. It's quite a big chapter. But I'll give you some of the titles of it. Eliphaz speaks the innocent prayer. Job replies, my complaint is just. Job continues, my life has no hope. You know, deep down, I reckon Job was just waiting. But, you know, you can see that you can have a particular attitude. See, this is it, I think, as well. What makes Joseph and Job, what I think makes Joseph's story, I think, prevail or be more of a more appropriate example or a thing to pattern after for us is that he never complained. See, Joseph never, from what I see, I don't think Joseph ever complained or ever, he never did that woe is me vibe, I don't think. From what I remember of the chapter, I just think he saw everything as God's will. And, you know, what a servant, bro. Like, what a servant. What a servant. What a terrific servant. I love Joseph. I really love Joseph. I really do. I rate him. Joseph knew the favour. So anyway, this was I might cut this a little bit short today. So, probably gonna cut this short a bit today. Not even gone through any of my writings, just spoke from the spirit again, because, you know, because we love Allah. That's why. Because we love Allah and we are steadfast and we're patient and we love Joseph and we hate envy, but we put up with it. And we're grateful. And, you know, we're going to go what we go through. And we're going to grow through what we go through. And everything has its purpose. And everything has its place. And there's nothing new under the sun. Except the follower of the Honourable Elijah Muhammad. That's pretty new. You know, so. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. You know, for all the men out there, you need to watch Lord of the Rings. If you want to activate manpower, just watch Lord of the Rings. Well, I'm very creative, so some things creatively inspire me. Maybe, it might not inspire you, but it does inspire me. And you know, just look for God's hand in everything in Lord of the Rings. It's just, I always question everything, yo. Find hope in the loneliness, beloved. You find the hope in the loneliness. Find hope find the understanding in the misunderstanding. Find the light in the dark. Find the truth amidst the lies. Be. Bzzz. Bzzz. Buzz them out, man. Buzz them. Buzz on them. Buzzing. Buzzy bee, mate. Beloved, I'm going to take leave of you now. But, sorry, I'm texting. I shouldn't be texting. Should I? Go away. Be gone, phone. Just launched it on my bed. Go away, iPhone. Maybe that's another thing. We should take a break from our phones, man. See who your real God is. Is it the phone or is it the Lord? I should take a leaf out of my own book. Sometimes I'm surfing that gram like I'm on the waves in Australia, Sydney. Giving it surfer boy, mate. But okay, it's been a blessed evening. May Allah's spirit stay with you. May Allah's peace find you. May Allah's truth be made more plain and clear. May you understand the value of prayer more, and may it add to your confidence. And may those who listen to this be inspired in any type of way, if it be Allah's will. I hope that I've said something that can give you value or can serve as a reminder. I am just your brother. I am just a servant. I see myself as nothing other than a servant and a little God with a little g. Greater things shall you do. So when you do those greater things, don't be surprised. Don't kick yourself. But know where it come from. And he'll keep giving you more. Because he loves he loves those who are grateful. He says, if you are grateful, I will surely give you more. So be grateful for the little things. Because they turn into big things. I always find it's the little acts of kindness that impact your legacy more than big impacts will affect the legacy. Because I think there's something about humans that when they see you in an esteemed position, but see you do something so small in such a great manner, there's an area of honour that they don't know why comes upon them to give to you. But it's that the more lowly, the more humble, the more kind you can be, even though you have, as this world might say, every reason not to be. I mean, what a silly idea. What, because I've got a bit of power that I should lose my humility? Because I've got a bit of understanding that I can stand over someone. See, that's what this world teaches you. But this world, even folks with... See, you see how Trump's not bowing. He won't bow to nobody. Yeah. But Trump is looking at Iran at the minute and is kind of saying, yeah, you humbled me, He's not saying it in those words, though, is he? See how they can't bring themselves to say it? Spinning. Leaving him spinning. Bzzz. 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 Now, if it's a fly, that's different. They'll get swatted. Swatted. So grateful. You WWE, I'm UFC, I discovered me, what do I mean? Shuffling it, so just look at my feet. I'm Ali, undiscovered, how you dealing with defeat? Elijah the Christ on repeat. If a man is like the door to his cell, Farrakhan in his seat. Ran up to that wall again. It's gonna be hell in your cell till you leave. Don't be envious of me. It's a fight, don't speak. Watch out for my reach. Alhamdulillah, Khabib. No, Magomed I mean. Side sweeps. Black belts when I'm on beats. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Jabril with a sovereign up on the wheel. Bruce Lee, Carly, such a warrior. Octagon with a sweet guillotine. You will see in 5 rounds with me. Yeah. I put it, you know, I probably should have done a bit more today, but sometimes I just speak from the spirit of me. I don't know. Things come, yo. The minister spends hours on the rostrum, yo, and I'm learning as I do these broadcasts why. Because so much can happen. Pardon me. I need to burp. So much can happen between the moment where you swing the pickaxe and it hits the rock. So many thoughts. So many things. Life is going in slow motion for the minister. That's why you don't need no notes. You don't need no notes. I don't need no notes. I don't need no notes sometimes. I get what he means by that. Because when you love the truth, your love of it will sustain you. The love you have for it will sustain you. Yes. So I put if your gift will make room for you, then ask yourself, how big is my gift? How big is your gift? How big is the gift? Because it's really not yours. But Allah gifted us with the knowledge of the truth, of the times, of what must be done, of the Mahdi, of the Messiah, of the books of scripture, of the meaning of the words, of the essence of the word, of the role of the woman, of the meaning of the woman, of the light in comparison to the darkness. In the darkness has no power in the reality that falsehood is ever a vanishing thing. In the universe itself, in the planets, he measured the earth, he measured the sea, he measured the waters, he measured the circumference, he measured the distance between the sun and the earth. He gave us all of it, the supreme wisdom. He gave us hope in explanations of the mighty wheel that is the master and is a master of mechanics. Masterpiece. Masterpiece of mechanics. So, can you imagine God giving us all of the things that would make us into himself, and we don't study, and we don't look at it, and we don't learn it? But you could learn all those things and still be a devil, That part. You can learn all those things and still be miles away. See? That's why spiritual. This is why I'm here, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen. This is why I'm here. This is how I've spawned. I've respawned, mate. Just spawning, mate. Because we can have all those truths, but if we've not got the right attitude, if we've not got the right spirit to really complement what we have, we're gonna be so what's the word? Troubled is the word. We're gonna be so troubled, beloved. That's why I think Elijah Muhammad said it would be best for you to have never known the truth than to know the truth and then mishandle it or something, or like play with it, or not live up to it, not try to pattern oneself after the instructions that it gives. I don't want to get back to study guide me, but I'm just seeing something, and so I'm being patient. Patience is a virtue. In high places, yo. Wickedness in high places, man. We here to deal with it. We here to deal with it. So I've got a bit more energy today. I had my nap today. I was walking on water, believe it or not. In my little dream. And there was like this seals. There were seals in the water. Seals. They're so cute. Seals are so cute. But there was this little island in the water. So I went up to it, and like in the middle was a massive hole. And my brother dived into it. And I didn't know where he went, and I was like, "Where have you gone, brother?" And he come up in the water like a few yards away. I was like, "Oh, there you are. Okay." Don't know what that was all about. Something to do with Ragnarok. I don't know what that means. Well, I actually think it means destruction or something, or like apocalypse in like Nordic stuff. Me and my gingerness. I'm Irish, aren't I? I've got a lot of Irish in my family. Hence the uncompromising flame that I have spiritually. And yeah, we've all got a bit of that in my family. A lot of ginger going on. A lot of gingerness, mate. Can you believe that? Gingers were like mocked because they had ginger hair. It's interesting, that, isn't it? Why would gingers get like just because they got red hair? Like, was just such a weird world, isn't it? Like, and maybe there's something in how color affects us, like actual colors, because black people were enslaved because of the color of their skin. But I wonder if it had anything to do with the very energy that they were, and the only thing that they could assume or like sort of categorize their hatred in was just the colour of something, because it stood out. You know what I'm saying? See, everything's energy, everything's like spiritual. They may have saw those black folks and been astounded at their energy as people. And because it was like a light in the darkness, should we say, you know, it shone light upon their animalistic side. They just wanted to really get rid of that energy because it was exposing their animalistic nature and their little ravenous selves. So right, yeah, I need to end this because I'm just reading it, and y'all are still on the thing. Love yous, but I'm gonna go. Thank you for listening. Thank you for. Thank Allah. Thank you, Allah, for, you know, always helping me in the spirit, always helping me find a thought that is valuable, or even making a thought that may not even be having much value end with it having value. Thank you, Allah, for inspiring me. Thank you, Allah, for giving me my sense of expression. Thank you, Allah, for teaching me by the pen. Thank you, Allah, for always giving me a smile in hard circumstances and in hard moments, or tears in hard moments, because they're just as substantive. You know, no, I'll save that one. Praise be to Allah. Okay, well, have a lovely evening, and, you know, love on the minister. You know, pray for the minister, and pray for the nation, and just pray in general. And pick up a couple days fast, beloved, if you need to. I think I need to. I've been eating like a fatso since Ramadan. I just got to the end of Ramadan and crashed me. I was like a freaking... No, pardon me. That's not the right language. But that's just my honesty in it. Like, man, I was having trouble. I was like Job and that. Little Job. Joby. Alright, well, truth will prosper. And falsehood is ever a vanishing thing. And may Allah bless you, guide you. May He give you more understanding. May He give you light. May He give you an increase in whatever you've been feeling that you need an increase in, even if it's only a little. And if He does, be grateful for the little that He increases you with and in. You know, be blessed if you're blessed to go anywhere else in the world than where you reside. Be grateful to Allah. Don't forget to be grateful, Allah. Don't say, well, I deserve this. This is what I earned, you know. He's just going to take it off of you. You just be like, oh, Ross, is that how it is? Okay, I'm not giving you that again. You can have this instead. You're not having that. So be grateful. Because when you're grateful, you're full of greatness. His greatness. Bricky remix. Bricky remix, rewind. And then, okay, guess what? Tomorrow, Inshallah, because sometimes I just have a bit of a Davy wavy. Sometimes I've just been doing double episodes when, I've missed some days, I missed yesterday as well. So I hope this is not as, I don't think it's as long as last episode's. I'm not even classing, this isn't a double episode, to be fair. So you still owed a double episode from me. Okay. Yeah, so what I was going to say was chapter 35 is tomorrow. 35. Divine favours. Praise be to Allah. Well, I think I've tried to end this like 3 times now already. So I need to like sort my head out and just... that's what I needed to do for you. Right, I'm probably going to do this either tonight or before I next do the broadcast, if I can remember, inshallah. Is I need to do like an ending prayer. I need to like, create a beautiful like outro thing. Or maybe I shouldn't, because sometimes I'm just inspired to say something and it sometimes just works, I guess. Though. But thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all the messages. Thank you for all those people that that love truth. Allah knows, yo, and that comforts me. You know what I mean? Allah comforts me. That's comforting to me. I don't mind. You don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? He's the sole master of the Day of Judgment. Maliki Yawmiddin. Alright, beloved. Well, Assalamu alaikum, which means in the Arabic language, peace be upon you. And, yes, have a wonderful evening. And stay blessed and keep smiling. And keep listening to the minister. And stay close to the areas of the minister's talks that are not as familiar or as clear yet. And perhaps Allah may give you understanding. And always ask me a question if you need, if you want to, I'm just your brother, I'm not like anything else, I'm just a servant, so. I believe Allah would give me an answer if we would just ask questions, Praise be to Allah. Well, Assalamu alaikum. Right, I'm going now. I love yous. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.